Neo Soul is a place where you can shred and chill all at the same time. And a lot of the same techniques apply to other genres as well. So this video is going to get you started. Depending on what level you're at, you can use the scroll bar at the bottom and access different things that we're going to talk about, including backing tracks for jamming, which can also be downloaded in the link in the description, along with some chord charts and scale diagrams. Let's get started. Start with the beat, just a minimalist background, even something as simple as it can really move it along and keep the pace. You can get that percussive sound on your guitar just with a little, just slap the strings a bit. So all you need is a looper and you're able to start jamming and get that kind of vibe going on. If you are good with things like GarageBand on your iPhone or on your computer, then you can go create a backing track for yourself. There's lots of really good ones out there, especially if you look in the percussion section, you can get some good sounds. Neo Soul can be as simple or as complex as you like when it comes to the chord progression, but typically it uses some unique voicings, some unique chords that you might have never heard of before, and they sound intimidating if you look at the names, but really a lot of them aren't all that hard. Let's look at this 2-chord jam that was at the beginning of the video there. This is an F major 9, and you see it's a bar chord, but you just have these 2 fingers here, and that's it. So, and then if you slide that up to the 5th fret, move your pinky to the bottom, that is an A9 sus4, and you're like, what in the world is that? But it's not that hard, and it just has this really cool sound. Sounds crazy, but look at this. You can get a nice groove with your looper, just getting that percussive sound in there. Or if you like, you can download the backing track in the link in the description, or scroll to the end of this video and you can jam along with the same backing track there. The major 9 chords sound really great. If you just substitute those for a progression that you already know, it'll give you kind of a soul vibe to it. It gives that really just a chill feel. You can also use minor 7ths and add the 9 in there as well. The minor 6 chords are also fun. You can get a jam track on your looper going just from something like this. So this is an E major 9, E major 9. And if you take your pinky off, you can hammer onto that. It's going from a 6 to the major 7th, which is a D sharp. That's a cool sound. You can arpeggiate this chord. You can add different notes on the bass. You can add a B. Really fun chord. You can move around. You can just play the 4 strings in the middle. You can play the top 2 as well. If you move it around, you just keep those 4. And over this, you can play an E major pentatonic scale, which is the same as your C sharp minor pentatonic, when box 1 would be on the 9th fret here. You can arpeggiate these chords. You can put some staccato in there. Helps to use some hybrid picking or finger picking even. Don't forget the flourishes that you can use. You can do a trill. You can take your minor 7th chord and you can mess around with that and get some fun sounds. Let's take a look at the scales that you'll use for neo soul. You can use the same pentatonic scales that you would normally use, and just vary the technique a bit. Instead of just running up and down the scale one note at a time like you would in many other genres, it's fun to use some harmony, some double stops where you're hitting two notes at the same time. It's a little tricky at first, but you're using the same shapes that you already know. So something like just adding a little bit of harmony in there gives it a different feel. And if you palm mute it and get that staccato, really jabbing, pointed sound to it, just rest the palm of your hand down here, then it gives you an entirely different feel. So to get to a point where you can move freely with this, you need to practice the scale with the double stops built in. And your guitar is already tuned in fourths, so that's a natural place to start. And with your box one of your pentatonic, it looks you just really hit the frets that you already know, just two strings at the same time. So it would look like this. So you can play around with that, and then you don't have to do the entire scale, but you can do your slides up to box two. Where you put the accent, the emphasis makes a big difference in the overall sound. Let's take a look at some of the licks that you can use in this genre using the same pentatonic scale that you already know. If you want a full catalog of these licks, you can go to JTC Guitar and find an excellent course on neo soul by Rodrigo Gouveia, and find a really good collection of pretty difficult but really fun licks. So here are a few simple ones that you can use. The rhythmic feel of this neo soul kind of sets it apart. You really can't get the music from the notes on the page. You gotta feel it. You gotta listen to it. So if you're trying to learn this, it's best to sit down with a YouTube video, use the playback speed button, and try to learn it. But you want to get those accents right, because it just sounds kind of wooden if you do it that way. But if you add emphasis in the right place, then it's a totally different sound. So you want to practice listening to that. One thing that neo soul will do a lot is start on the second 16th note after the down beat. So it's kind of tricky at first, and if you're having trouble finding it, you can just hit your strings like that and let that be the downbeat, and then come in with it. So let's take a look at this lick, which starts in box 5 of the A minor or the C major pentatonic. So right here on the 3rd fret. So you got that downbeat, which is a rest. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm just a busy dad trying to learn some things and pass them on as I have learned them. I hope you found something useful here. Like and subscribe if you did. Leave me a comment. Let me know something else you'd like to learn. Let me know a question that you might have, and I'll try to get back with you. Have fun. Keep playing. build a chord like this, you usually start with a triad, in this case F major, which has the 1, the 3, and the 5 notes from your scale. In this case, F, A, and C. And we add the major 7th, which is E, a half step below your octave. And the 9th, which is going to be above the octave, it's the 2nd note above the octave. This is an F chord, so an F9 would have a G in it and a higher one. So that's where this first string, 3rd fret, the G is. That's the 9 of that chord. For this voicing, you can leave out the 3rd and mostly get the same sound. You can find different places to make this chord if you like, looking for those same notes across the fretboard, but this is a really easy one to get started with. Let's look at A9 sus4. Again, start with the major triad. For A, it's A, C sharp, and E. And the 9th chord weirdly has both the 9th, which is a B, and the minor 7th this time. So if it just says A9, that's going to be a minor 7th. So that's a full step down from your octave. So one full note before A would be G. So the minor 7th or the flat 7th, in this case G, and the sus part of the chord adds the 4th, which is D in this case. So it looks something like this.